The average American eats nearly 20 chickens every year. That's a grand total of over 3 billion chickens every single year. Today we are going to go on a quick tour of the #1 poultry producing county in the nation, Lancaster County, Pennsylvania.
The domestication of the chicken, Gallus domesticus, is believed to have taken place about 3000 BC in India.
Not only is Lancaster County a major poultry-producing county in the U.S., but we produce so many poultry products that if we were a state, we'd be number 12 in egg production. That puts us ahead of 38 other whole states. Lancaster produces 50% of Pennsylvania's eggs. That's 2.5 billion eggs a year, or 80 eggs every second for an entire year.
If you put 2.5 billion eggs end to end, they would circle the Earth more than 5 times. Or if you stacked them, they'd reach halfway to the moon.
That's a long way from a few chickens running around in Grandma's barnyard. Let's take a look at how all of that poultry comes to the market. Whether you're dealing with egg-laying chickens, broilers heading for chicken nuggets, or turkeys headed for the Thanksgiving table, they all start at the breeder farm. At the breeder farm, the birds are separated by gender, that's male and female, because the hens, the ladies, get different feed than the roosters, the gents. Hens get a constant buffet of food to allow them to lay more eggs, while roosters are limited to a few meals a day to keep them from getting fat and lazy. The birds here run free, with nesting boxes for the eggs. These birds are the parents of the birds that will end up on the regular farm. The environment here is very important. Lights, temperature, and water are all carefully controlled. The eggs are collected, and they're off for a truck ride to the hatchery.
These chickens are the results of lots of research and generations of genetic engineering aimed at producing more eggs and more meat.
The eggs go to hatcheries for the chicks to be born. After their truck ride, the eggs are loaded into incubators. This particular hatchery uses what's called a single-stage incubator, where all the eggs from one flock are kept together. Each one of these incubators is carefully controlled to make sure that the temperature, humidity, and even the oxygen content of the air is perfect for the developing chicks. The racks here have pistons to rotate the eggs, just like their mother hens would. And after the chicks hatch, the racks are disinfected and washed before being returned to the breeder farm. This is a high-tech operation. The eggs are rarely handled by humans to keep the risk of disease and contamination down. The manager can even call in from his computer at home to check out the incubators. The eggs are moved to the hatching area. Here they spend another week cooling off before the baby chickens begin to peck their way out of the eggs. After each flock moves through, both the incubators and the hatching areas are washed out and disinfected to make it safer for the next group of baby chicks. After the chicks hatch, they're taken to a sorting area where the hens are separated out and given shots and vitamins to prevent disease. Then, they're loaded into heated or air-conditioned trucks for the trip to the pullet house or the broiler farm.
At the pullet house, the day-old chicks live for the next 16 weeks until they're ready to lay eggs. The pullet house is specially designed as the pullet grows. The waterer can be adjusted to fit the chicken. After their stay at the pullet house, the chickens move on to the layer house. Here they move into chicken condos with 8 other roommates. The temperature, light, and feed are all carefully controlled to keep the chickens comfortable, to help them lay the most eggs possible. All of the egg collection is done by machine, so to minimize contact by humans and maintain egg quality.
layer houses and eggs are inspected regularly. Because Pennsylvania's poultry industry is a part of the Pennsylvania Egg Quality Assurance Program.
This voluntary program to prevent foodborne illness is organized by the poultry producers themselves, is a model for the country, and is enforced by the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture. Inspectors come in and check chicken houses at random for disease, mice, and other rodents. All chicken houses are washed, disinfected, and inspected every time new chickens arrive, and only a limited number of people are allowed in each barn to limit the chicken's exposure to disease and keep you healthy. Every time a visitor, like an inspector, comes onto the farm, they must wear a special set of overalls to keep disease from spreading from one farm to another. Even their hair and boots are covered up. And the final step is a quick dip in disinfectant before a visitor can head into the farm. Just to be even more safe, a farmer will almost never go into another poultry farm, and if they did, they'd have to wear the same kind of protective clothing.
Good morning. Morning, George. Morning, Sam. How are you? Good. Great. Good to see you. Nice to see you.
Here, Inspector George and chicken farmer Sam are checking to see that the flock is strong and healthy.
Some chickens from the hatcheries aren't raised to lay eggs. These chickens are called broilers and are raised for their meat. Broiler chickens are taken directly to the farm from the hatcheries and are allowed to run free. The temperatures in the broiler house are kept at a toasty warm 88 degrees. All of the broilers' medicines and vaccinations are delivered right through their water, and these chickens don't drink from dishes or trays like other animals. They learn to use nipple drinkers to conserve water.
Depending on how big they need to get, the chickens spend 7 to 8 weeks here before being trucked to a processing plant. Just what do all these chickens eat? That's the job of the feed mill. And Lancaster County has some of the biggest and busiest in the country. Most chicken feed is based on corn and soybeans, and rail car loads arrive here every day. Chickens also love a lot of other food, most of which humans can't eat, like old leftover donuts and bread, soybean meal, and canola meal. Chicken chow also has lots of vitamins, minerals, and limestone in it. The limestone provides calcium for strong eggshells and bones. Scientists carefully test each of the foods for their nutritional content. Then the whole thing is fed into a computer, which tells the feed mill operator exactly how much of each ingredient to put in. They check the chicken feed many times to make sure just the right ingredients are going into every truckload. Some poultry, such as broilers and turkeys, can be picky eaters, and that's where this machine comes in. A pelleter takes the mushy chicken feed and heats and mixes it into little pellets. That keeps the chickens from picking out only the ingredients they like.
Where do all these eggs go when the chickens are done with them? After a very little amount of time in a big refrigerator on the farm, the eggs are trucked to a processing plant. Here, they first come to this holding room, which is really a big refrigerator kept at a chilly 40 to 50 degrees. This room holds a whole day's worth of production of eggs. First, a row of suction cups lifts the eggs off the trays, which are then washed and disinfected to be sent back to the farm. This machine washes the eggs in hot, soapy water to kill any bacteria that might be on them. Then the eggs are given a light coating of mineral oil to protect them during the rest of processing.
Every egg is candled. That means they move over a light table where people inspect each one. The light under the table lets people see right through the eggs. Then a machine automatically sorts out any cracked or broken eggs before they head off to the packing machines.
Right now, they're running nearly 90,000 eggs an hour through the candling machine. Here at the packing machine, the eggs are put into cartons, which are marked with the day, shift, packing machine, and even the flock the eggs came from.
From here, they are shipped out to the store, usually arriving in a store near you in less than 2 days after leaving the farm. But eggs from here are also shipped as far away as Hong Kong, right from Lancaster County. Since eggs arrive at the store within 48 hours of leaving the farm, if properly refrigerated, they'll stay fresh for over a month. You'll find many poultry products in your supermarket, from the fresh eggs in the case to chicken wings, microwavable omelets, and chicken patties.
Now, when you buy your poultry products, there are some rules to follow to keep it safe and fresh. And here's home economist Nancy Weicker to help with some advice.
The problem most people have with their poultry is not taking good care of it before they cook it. Buy the poultry last and give it its own plastic bag. There are juices that accumulate in here and they might drip all over the things in your cart. So put it in its very own plastic bag and put this on the bottom of your cart. Go directly to the checkout. On the way home, if you're going to be more than a half an hour, take an ice chest so the poultry stays nice and cool on the way home, and put it in the bottom of your refrigerator when you get there so those juices don't drip all over other foods in your refrigerator. As long as your refrigerator is at 40 degrees or less, you can store fresh poultry for about 2 days. People used to think that the cholesterol in eggs would cause heart attacks, but that's been proven wrong by many, many years of research. You see, for a healthy person, an egg a day is okay.
Ta-da!
Poultry is also a favorite for preparing because it's lower in fat than red meat and it's really easy to prepare. You can even make it lower in fat by removing the skin and the visible fat. In the kitchen, the basic word is clean. Clean knife, clean hands, clean cutting board.
Got one of those.
Oh no, not a wood cutting board. Too many nooks and crannies for bacteria to hide. We'll use acrylic.
I knew that.
Wash your hands for about 20 seconds. That's how long it takes to sing Yankee Doodle.
Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony, stuck an omelet in his hat, called it breakfast.
Wash your hands before you handle food, after the bathroom, and after playing with your pets. And if you want to cut up anything else on this cutting board, wash the knife and cutting board first, and then go to your vegetables. When you're cooking, make sure the temperature inside the meat reaches at least 180 to 185 degrees, and ground poultry should be at least 165 degrees. And if you microwave, cover the food with a microwave-safe lid, wax paper, or just loosely with plastic wrap that's microwave-safe as well. For leftovers, store in low flat containers. This allows the air to circulate and it cools a lot faster. If you have both poultry and stuffing, put them in separate containers, because the stuffing insulates the poultry and doesn't allow it to cool fast enough.
There are a few more things we want you to know about the Lancaster County poultry industry. Like, for example, did you know that eggs are used to make flu and other vaccinations? And each broiler house generates $1.5 million in economic activity and 14 jobs. Each layer house generates $5.5 million worth of economic activity and 49 jobs. That's as many people as in 2 average-sized classrooms. And they can be electricians, exterminators, truck drivers, grocery store workers, or even the people that make paper cases, trays, and packaging.